Hello, everybody. Don't forget when you're taking our notes, if you need to pause the video and go back for any reason, you can do so.
Iceland's my dad's favorite country, and today we're going to learn about it.
Thank you very much, Maddie. Yes, we're going to learn about Iceland. Its official name is the Republic of Iceland. I'm not even going to try and say this right down here as I normally do. I will just butcher it completely. In the background, you can see that the Iceland flag is the red and white cross with the blue backgrounds in all four corners. The cross is kind of off centered a little bit. And you can see a picture right here of the map of Iceland. Notice one thing about it, all of the cities are along the coasts. Okay. Well, where is Iceland located? Iceland is located in the Northern Europe region. It is an island in between Greenland, which you can kind of see up here in the top left-hand corner, and the North Atlantic Ocean. And it is just off the coast of the United Kingdom and Norway, kind of out there by itself. A lot of people always ask, well, if it's Iceland, is it covered in ice? No, it is not. It was actually used as a trick to confused the Vikings back when they were coming to conquer. So they named them Iceland and Greenland, Greenland. Therefore, they went there, and that's covered in ice. And Iceland is covered in greenery. So it's just a way of kind of tripping them. It's kind of stuck. Iceland is slightly smaller than the state of Kentucky. Some general information. It's not very populated. There's about 343,000 people that live on the island of Iceland. Its capital is Reykjavik. Its religion is Evangelical Lutheran Church of Iceland. It is their official religion, and about 67.2% of the population practice it. The currency, Icelandic krona. So that's their money, which they deal with. The government is a constitutional republic. Its head of government is the Prime Minister, Katrín Jakobsdóttir. Sorry, some of these words are going to be butchered. I'm sorry. I'll try my best. Language. Icelandic is the official language. English and Danish, as well as some German, are widely spoken and understood throughout much of the country. An Icelandic word for computer is holva. So as you can kind of see, it's got a Norwegian or Nordic hint with it, but it is kind of an interesting language. The climate, Iceland is very windy due to the frequent passage of depressions, the different storms, where it's located in the North Atlantic Sea. Rainfall is also plentiful, although thunderstorms are very rare in Iceland. Fog is not very frequent, and the northern lights are often visible, especially in the autumn and early winters. That's where you can really see the northern lights. The aurora borealis is one of the really cool things about Iceland. Cuisine. What do they eat there in Iceland? Well, everything. Fish is going to be a mainstay of the Icelandic diet. Seabirds and waterfowl, including their eggs. Some chicken, turkey, and lamb are also common. Vegetables, historically not really grown given the climate, have come into increased use. Obviously, everyone is kind of trying to eat better and eat healthier. Iceland is no different. Traditional ingredients include blueberries, rhubarb, Iceland moss, and dried seaweed, as well as hardy varieties of turnips, rutabagas, cabbages, and potatoes. You can see here dried fish called hardfisk or hardfish is often eaten daily in Iceland. This traditional treat dates back to Iceland's first settlers who dried the fish so it then could be eaten throughout the winter. And you can kind of see them kind of hanging. There's a bunch of them hanging off of each one of these, and it's just rows of them. Hallgrímskirkja, which is Hallgrím's Church, the tallest structure in Iceland. It stands at about 240 feet tall and is located in the capital of Reykjavik. It's a pretty cool, interesting looking structure. Again, it's only 244 feet tall. It's not very tall for its tallest structure. Whether you visit Reykjavik in the summer, when you can bathe in the midnight sun, or in the midst of the dark winters when the northern lights illuminate the sky, you can always kind of see them. It's really cool because of where it's located and so close to the Arctic Circle and the North Pole. You can kind of see a lot of the northern lights, or aurora borealis, which is really cool. The most famous erupting hot spring in Iceland is Geysir, which is the source of the English word geyser, or meaning gusher. You can see it on this picture over here, kind of exploding and pushing out the hot water. Today, Iceland's most visited geyser is Stroker, which means the churn, located just south of Geysir, which is right here. It erupts every 5 to 10 minutes, which is sending boiling hot water about 100 feet into the air. So it really pushes the water up there. Some landforms. Iceland's capital is Reykjavik, located on the bay in the southwestern coast. Only about 18% of the land near the coast is considered suitable for agriculture and habitable. Most of the country's population and agriculture is concentrated in the southwest between Reykjavik and Vich cities. So it's really not a lot of the land, a lot of glaciers and some rough terrain throughout much of the country. Iceland is relatively young landmass and is subject to geological activity. The central volcanic plateau ranges in elevations from anywhere from 2,300 feet to 2,600 feet. Volcanoes are frequently active, and earthquakes are common. Just because of where they sit on the plate tectonics, you're going to find a lot of that. Glaciers, another characteristic of this rough landscape, cover about 11% of the country's surface. The largest glacial cap is Vatnajökull in southeast Iceland, covering about 3,000 square miles. So that's pretty large. Again, the town of South Amboy is about 1 square mile. So imagine 3,000 of those. It's pretty large. The landscape is also rich in waterfalls and numerous lakes, most of tectonic origin. Because of the heavy rainfall, Icelandic rivers are many and large. They're subject to annual turbulent glacial runoff, making navigation very impossible, just because the amount of water and how fast and how they kind of twist and turn. Very difficult. Here you can kind of see the elevation. Again, we look at the elevation of feet. The yellow is basically flat, 0 to 500. You only see a little bit of that on the southern part, as well as this little part up here in the north. As you get into the green and the brown, you kind of see it's mostly green and a little bit of brown in the central part. Again, we were talking about Reykjavik. Most of the population lives from Reykjavik to Vik over in this area. You can see the large lakes and many rivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 rivers that are there. The land use compared to other places, you can't really use a lot of the land on Iceland. So a lot of stuff is being brought in, it's being imported into the country. Sheep you can grow or raise, and some fish. So Iceland is a very beautiful country. If you ever have an opportunity, it's one of my favorite countries to learn about and explore and hear about. Between the northern lights, the hot springs, the water geysers, and the overall just friendliness. It's a really cool place to go visit, and hopefully you guys will one day make it there. So thank you very much for listening.